Hello and welcome to this lecture. Here we'll be doing the creation of a GL account. Here is our journey so far. We have created a multinational company and then we have created our subsidiary inside which we have a general ledger where we are working currently, and we have two variants which specify how our accountants are doing accounting in this company. Let's go to our general ledger, and inside our general ledger we have a chart of accounts which manages the name of all the accounts that we have here. Let's explore our chart of accounts. Our chart of accounts are sectioned off into account groups, and the following range falls inside this account group, this range falls inside this account group, and so on and so on. We can basically treat a single account like a folder in which we can place cash or remove cash from, or we can turn in other transactions to that account. That account is going to be stored in one of these drawers. It can be stored in the fixed assets drawer, the current assets drawer, or the equity assets drawer based on the number that we assign to that folder. Let's come down here and let's walk through the creation of a sample account. Say we have a travel expenses account for our chairman XYZ. The account number is as follows, and it's going to be stored inside our expenses account group. Any expenses that our chairman create, say they were in Singapore, they've incurred some expenses, they're going to be stored inside our travel expenses account, and in the documents that we create, we're going to be referencing this account by this following account number and either debiting or crediting this account. Let's head down financial accounting, general ledger, come down to master records, GL accounts, individual processing, and create GL accounts centrally. Here you can see I have already created the XYZ retained earnings account, and you can do the same thing once you're done with this lecture. You can go and practice your skills on top of the creation of the XYZ retained earnings account. Here's the company code, and we can hit replace for this GL account. Let's go to 600000015 and hit create, and you can see that a new GL account is opened for us. Now we just have to specify a couple of information in these tabs, and the information in these tabs is going to be related to the field status variants that we're going to define for this GL account. Let's come down here. Let's click on administrative expenses. If I create on anything else, it's going to give a loud error message saying that our debt account group, which is the loans account group, is defined only between this and this account number range. This number obviously falls out of this account range, and it's going to be stored inside our administrative expenses. Let's select balance sheet account, and the selection here is the P&L statement account is going to be used for the retained earnings account. So anything which holds profit and loss data is going to be selected here. And when you create your retained earnings account, make sure you select this instead of the balance sheet account. For everything else, we're going to be using the balance sheet account here. Let's put some short text here. We're going to say travel EXPS, and here we're going to say foreign travel expenses. We can go to our create bank interest section, and here is our field status group selection variant. So let's select this. Let's scroll down here and select our G069 cost account. If you take a look at the field variant here, it's 1000. This is the one that we had assigned to our company code 3XYZ. And let's select that specific field status group, G069. If you look over here, there are 3 different groups here, and all of these are controlled by the field status groups themselves. All of these separate screens that we see are controlled by the field status group here. All of the things are shown to us here. However, when we go and create our account, the field status group is going to be sort of like a document our SAP environment checks against, and anything which goes against our field status group is going to give us an error for that. So here we can see we can define our bank in the bank creation section in SAP FICO. We can assign the bank number here, we can assign the account ID here, and we can also assign in terms of interest how much interest we're going to be collecting, how much of the frequency is going to be there. So for example, is this calculated monthly, is this calculated indefinitely, so are we using E? All those sorts of things can be specified here. Now we've not specified a bank or an account ID. We have kept it at the bare minimum so that we don't overload you with information, and it's enough information such that we can work with some complex things such as posting documents. So with this, let's come back to control data. The control data, as it suggests, is going to be information about controlling the way that our accountants create this account, as well as how they post documents to this account. So the account currency we're using is USD. We can define a certain exchange rate difference key. So if there's a difference between the exchange rates that are located in our exchange rate section in SAP FICO, we can define that key here. We can define the tax category. This is actually one of the few things we can actually define here. So we're going to come up here and select the specific tax category. We're going to select all taxes allowed, since this is a foreign country and there are going to be all sorts of these taxes that are placed upon us. Let's come down here and we can select all sorts of these other things. This is called a reconciliation account, and the way that a reconciliation account works is that, say you have a customer account, which this is not a customer account, but say you have a customer account. In the customer accounts, you're going to be having small purchases, but in order to link it to our general ledger, you have to accumulate all of those purchases and link those purchases to a single account. And this is then linked to one of these larger accounts which are here. We don't need to worry about that here either. And here we can define the inflation key for the money and the tolerance group which we create for the accountants that we have. So we have seen some of the basic settings that can be set, and we have seen how we can define the bank as well as interest and the field status group for our general ledger account. Let's go ahead and create this account, and let's get started with posting as fast as we can possibly do. So let's create save. Let's hit this, and we have created a new GL account.